What is going on, everybody? I am your host of your favorite talk show at the top, where we go over the latest sports headlines as well as everything that's happening off the field. And after a crazy NFL Week 4, let's get right into it. Now, originally, I did not want to address this game. However, because of the teams involved, I must address this game. Prior to the season, both the Ravens and Chiefs were considered powerhouses of the AFC. After the conclusion of Week 4, I can tell you, the Chiefs are trending in an upwards direction. The Ravens, plummeting. I almost cursed. But they're plummeting right now. And honestly, I think there needs to be a change at head coach. I'm not calling for his job just yet. But if we do not bounce back by Week 7, there needs to be serious questions being asked on the coaching staff. I don't care how many injuries are on that team. There is no way that that is the product being put out on the field. Now, for the Chiefs, are they back? I mean, they put up 37 on arguably the worst defense in the league. However, that's 37 points after putting up multiple weeks of stagnant offense. Pat seems to be a little more relaxed, and Xavier Worthy looks like he was worth those first 3 weeks out, and they needed him back. Like, talk about free four. No, free four, because they needed him. And he seemed like he was really just getting comfortable picking the Ravens defense apart and moving forward, with that type of productivity. The Chiefs may be dangerous. I mean, this one almost caught me off guard when I was checking the box scores. Of course not. We watching all the games here, especially with Red Zone on Sundays. Like, it's easy to catch all the action. But the Giants beat the Chargers at home. I mean, a huge, huge win for the Giants. Some could consider this a trap game for the Chargers, being that, they came in with a great record. Justin Herbert was playing great, and they played this, starting rookie QB, having his first NFL start. Hey, maybe they underestimated him. But 21-18 is a great win for New York. However, at what cost? At what cost? The fact that Malik Nabers is out for the entire season is detrimental to the New York Giants organization as a whole. Why? Because you just put in a rookie QB to start. If he does not have a safety blanket at wide receiver, this development is going to be a tough one for Jackson Dart. I mean, I know the kid has some legs on him, but throwing the football is what quarterbacks need to do. And if he does not have a guaranteed solidified number one, which he just lost in his first start, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. So we'll see what the Giants do. This is a good one for them. However, I feel like, honestly, they should sit Dart, put Russ back in, and let Dart come back next year. Like, don't waste this kid or get this kid hurt trying to develop him when you're not going to win games. Don't win any games. Get a high draft pick. We'll move forward next year knowing that Dart will be our starting QB. In other news, both the Eagles and Bills got their respective wins. At this point in the season, I think they are the two best teams in the AFC and NFC. But, staying undefeated, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, both playing great football. We'll continue to see great things from these teams, but as long as they don't have any major slip-ups, they should both be making deep runs into the playoffs. And Sunday night had a great one. I mean, Packers versus Cowboys, Micah Parsons coming back, playing the Dallas Cowboys again after departing them earlier in the season and requesting a trade before the season, 40-40. Now, unfortunately for Micah, that's not a good look. I mean, if the game was 15-15 or, 20-20, but 40-40 means that neither side was really playing too much defense. Now, I have a few questions for you guys. Are ties bad for the game? Because now the Packers are sitting at 2-1-1. And although I believe that they're a great team, that one tie may really mess them up in terms of playoff positioning and deeper into the season. But another thing is, does this score prove Jerry right? I mean, listen, I'm not a fan of, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones at all. However, you trade your best player on defense, arguably the face of your team, to a conference rival, not a division rival, but a conference rival, play that conference rival who also has one of the top QBs in the NFC, and you put up 40 on him. Hey, like if I'm a guy, I just saved myself over $100 million, and then we just put up 40 on the defense that he went to. I'm feeling pretty good as an owner. I'm not gonna lie. Love or hate Jerry, for right now, in his eyes, he made the right decision. Is Dallas good? I mean, I can't really tell. They've had two kind of barn burner matchups, where they squeaked out a win and then they also had the tie. But, are they good? I can't tell. Dak plays great one day. He's lackluster another day. I don't know if you're going to get consistency in Dallas. The division right now, obviously, they're not going to beat the Eagles too often. So it really just comes down to, can we get a wild card spot? Because you're not winning your division. So how good are they? They play some good games, but I really don't know. So you guys let me know in the comments. But is Dallas, a fraud, or are they potentially playoff contenders? It is now time. We are going to give you the 5 best teams in the league. This list is concrete, and it's staying. Just to give you guys a recap of last week's Power 5. Last week's power rankings, we had the Lions at 5. We had the Packers at 4. The Chargers at 3. The Bills at 2. And the Eagles were the top team in the league. I'm going to keep it a buck. Not much change in this week. However, we're going to give you guys the order of week 4's power rankings right here. So, at number 5, we are going to have the Tampa Bay Bucks. I like the Bucks right now. I can't lie. Baker is playing good football. The one loss they have is to arguably the best team in the league right now. They're balling. Baker's balling. I mean, they got receivers. They got a pretty good defense. I like the Bucks right now. At week 4, I got the Bucks as the 5th best team. Will they be the 5th best team in week 10? Who knows? But at week 4, they're the 5th best team in the league right now. At number 4, though, can't argue it. I got the Packers. I got the Packers at number 4. Why do I have them at number 4? Okay, cool. So they just took a tough loss, back-to-back tough weeks for them. They just took a tough loss, but they bounced back and they tied with the Dallas Cowboys. Putting up 40 on Dallas, I like that, especially from the offense, Jordan Love to get rolling, things like that. Micah and the defense do have to lock in. Giving up 40 is unacceptable. I don't care who you're playing. Giving up 40 points as a defense is unacceptable in the NFL. I don't care who you are. If you give up 40 points as a defense, the other team cooked you. And you need to go back in the locker room and figure things out the next week. However, I feel like that team is getting better. And at this point of the season, in week 4, I have them as my 4th best team in the league. But they're not top 3. I got the Lions at number 3. Lions going in number 3 because they're playing really good football right now. They only have 1 loss. But I feel like they're rolling. I really feel like they're rolling. They beat the Ravens in a hard-fought game, and then they come back and they respond well again. I feel like they're just playing good football right now. Like, Amon-Ra, we got Jared Goff, we have, Aiden Hutchinson. Those guys are playing at all cylinders, and if they can continue this, they'll win their division, and they have a good shot at being contenders for that NFC title. But they're not the 2nd best team in the league. Team in the league, coming from upstate New York, we got the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are my 2nd best team in the league. Why? Because they have a great player at quarterback who is leading in offense, who's putting up some pretty good numbers. Their defense is quite strong, and they just seem like they're bought in. Like, sometimes teams need to be bought in to win. It's not going to take all the talent. We've seen it because the Ravens have all these names on their roster. It's not getting, they're 1-3. Teams like Buffalo, when those guys are believing in each other and really putting on their jersey and playing for the name on the front, you see what happens. They're 4-0, they're playing great football, and they're led by one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But they're not the number 1 team, though. I don't like them that much, especially being that they're from Philly. But The Eagles are my reigning and remaining number one team. They're playing great football right now. Jalen Hurts is here and there, but I feel like with their defense, with the players that they got on offense, with their receiving core, there is not much that is going to stop the Eagles this year besides themselves. And if they don't stop themselves, I honestly see them going to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. However, we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. But that is my NFL top 5 teams of the week. Let me know how I did and who are your top 5 teams in the week. Who are your top 5 teams in the NFL right now? Now let's talk about some off-the-field headlines. So before we get into the college basketball season, there's been some pretty historic NCAA rulings recently. Now, Thierry Darling just got granted NCAA eligibility after spending the last 2 years in the NBA G League. Now, why was he granted eligibility? Is because he came straight out of the NBA Africa Basketball Academy and went straight to the G League. Now, he's only 21 years old, so I think he'll be around a junior in college role. He'll have 2 years left. But how do you guys feel about this ruling? Like, do you feel like guys should be able to go pro or playing a type of pro basketball that isn't the top league, which is the NBA, and then being able to go back to college? I mean, we see guys overseas playing professionally, like, Luka has been playing professionally since he was 16. Guys like Ricky Rubio were drafted when he still wanted to play overseas, played professionally, and then came over. Or they're guys who have gone overseas, played professionally in their countries, and then committed to schools like Duke, Kansas, and played high-level Division I basketball before entering the marks of the NBA. I personally don't have a problem with it, but let me know how you guys feel in the comments. EA Sports just sold to a Saudi group of investors for $55 billion. And that is billion with a B, not an M. Like, that's how crazy it is. Now, although EA has the largest catalog of sports games, 55 billion just seems like a lot. I mean, yes, you get the image and likeliness of all of the players in the leagues that they own and things like that. However, is that going to translate to what? Better games, more interactive games? Like, I really want to understand what the Saudi group is going to do with EA, because we all love EA. I mean, EA in the game, like stuff like that is truly iconic, and it could honestly even affect some of the rights to Madden that the NFL has. So I'm interested in seeing what this money is going to affect EA, especially the fact that it's Saudi money. It's not like an American company buying EA to kind of better the company or change its ways. We have no clue what is on the agenda for this Saudi group for purchasing EA, but we can only hope that it's going to help the gaming community in the sports world. So we'll see. Aye. Now, Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime performer. Now, you can't say Bad Bunny. It's Bad Bunny, okay? Shout out to all my friends who have told me the correct pronunciation of Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Is going to be the Super Bowl halftime performer. Honestly, I think this is pretty dope. Now, Bad Bunny has come out and said he is not doing any American tour dates. Why? We know why. But I do not blame him, because it would really just wouldn't do much for his fan base and his people in the United States being under the type of climate that we are in today's society. Now, the fact that his one sole tour date is the Super Bowl halftime show, I think is huge, especially because the people that he is going to be performing to are not the people that would purchase tickets to go see his show. And it is exactly why he needs to use that stage to send exactly the message that he wants to send. Whatever message, whether political, social, positive message that Bad Bunny is trying to bring awareness to, the Super Bowl is the perfect stage for it, and I hope he takes full advantage. The things that we've seen over the last few years have all been inspiring, and I feel like Bad Bunny could take that, especially under the social agenda that's been going on in today's society. I feel like whatever he does is really going to make a huge splash and a huge wave, and I hope that it resonates with all of the viewers and not just the people that are tuning in because they are fans of Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. This last one is honestly my favorite, And I really, really wish athletes would be more candid with what they're saying because we all know it's bull. Like, as a former athlete, I could tell when a guy is being interviewed after the game, he is only going to say the right things. So, Jalen, what do you think about today's game? Yeah, I just thought we played great. And it's not always about playing great. It's about having heart. It's about really going out there and playing for your brothers and playing for the name on the back of your jersey and not the front. It's probably some bull that Jalen Hurts would say. You know what I mean? They asked Cam Ward, Cam, how do you feel about your team? Cam Ward said, if we keep it in the buck, we ask. Thank you. Thank you, Cam Ward, for keeping things real because I'm so tired of the NBA 2K Madden My Player responses when these guys get hit with hard questions. Be a human for once. Like, tell us how y'all really feel. Cam, how do you feel about the game? The defense didn't play well. The secondary's giving up long balls. I need to play better as a QB. The team needs to uplift each other. Like, these are things that we want to hear in sound bites. We don't want to hear the, we're going to go back, talk about it, think things over. Dude, we get it. We get it. Like, give us something that the people actually know and want to hear. You guys just got blown out in a football game. Talk about taking accountability. You could be upset. It's okay to be upset. Nobody likes losing. But these dudes really go out there and sit in front of cameras and reporters and just bold-face lie when they know damn well that is not how they feeling about the game. That is all for today's episode of At the Top. Make sure y'all tune in next week for the Week 5 headlines and off-the-field antics. And until next time, I'll see y'all at the top.